Some is about
Mm.
$140 per hour, $150
Wow.
per hour.
This
Yeah.
is registrar.
No, no, no. Locum. MO.
Okay, so good morning and good afternoon. Good morning in UK and good afternoon in Malaysia and Singapore. I think welcome everyone to this special, very special episode in our White Not Family podcast. Today we have a very special guest speaker. It's a good friend of mine, Daniel, and he's a good friend of mine since matrix days and uni days. And we've known each other for quite some time, actually almost 10 years, yeah, also.
Yeah.
And so today we also have Shireen and my mom as my co-hosts and Daniel as the guest speaker. So today, what are we going to talk about, Shireen and mom?
Today's, and I think to qualify, I think this is our first time ever having a guest on our podcast. So thank you very
Yes.
much, Daniel, for joining
Oh, wow.
us.
My privilege.
Very humble podcast. But today, really, we really want to learn more about you, your life, your choice of you studied in UM with distinction, and then Coco, I think later you'll do more introduction. But your
Yep.
choice of moving to Singapore, and you've been there for a good 10 years, I think. So I think there's a lot of questions for you as a doctor in Singapore, as a dad. Um, so yeah, we're very
So I
excited.
think Yeah, so I think should we start off by where we give a hand over the mic sort of to Daniel, where we ask him about you can as much as you're comfortable, just give us a brief intro and of your background from when you were born and sort of like where you grew up and the kind of thing, just a self intro. Relax.
Okay. All right. Hi. Hi, everyone. So I'm Daniel and I'm from Malaysia. I was born in Kuala Lumpur and I moved to Penang when I was in secondary four. Yeah. So after that, soon after we had our SPM and I moved to Perak, Gopeng for our matriculation college, and that's where I met Ting Shin, who is also from Penang. Um, so how many years of matric was it? 1 year, yeah.
1 year, I
One
think
year,
nine
yeah.
months. Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So after 1 year of matriculation in Perak, we all got into University of Malaya, and then our friendship continued. We studied in UM together for 5 years, and then that's where our path separated. Uh, I moved to Singapore to to work as a houseman, and whereas Teng Xin decided to stay in Malaysia, in Sabah in particular, right? I think continue his career in medicine. Um, yeah, so far um it's been good, I guess. The different choices that we've made and the different paths that we have taken. Um, I guess it's all also how do I put it? We have all gained different experience.
I think, yeah, thanks for the introduction. I think that's a very nice, concise introduction. I think it's a timely time that we did this podcast also because now there's a lot of issues if you follow Malaysian news, right? And
Mm,
that, there's issues, and it's all along been the issue where, a lot of Malaysian doctors and actually all other technical specialties actually left for Singapore, the brain drain and everything.
mm,
So I think if I remember correctly, even before we graduated our final paper, our final year, Singapore
mm,
has already came over to UM and UKM students to these two
mm.
universities and
Yep.
um, asked for applications and then
Mm.
we went for interviews, remember, at the hotel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, Singapore. So in Singapore, we are not employed by the government.
Hmm.
All right. Whereas in Malaysia is under Ministry of Health or JPA. Yeah,
Yep.
which is
Yep.
you're like a government servant until they change to a contract base. But so in Singapore, we are employed by this company called Ministry of Health Holdings. So they are the one that employs us and provide I mean gives us the salary, um, arrange our postings until you get into residency, you're still under them, uh, until you exit residency training and you're employed by the hospital. Yeah. So before we graduate, we got the news of this company coming over to KL, conducting interview for, potential uh, work in Singapore. So yeah, we prepared our CV. That was before our final exam. Um, Went there, they asked us a few questions, and I can't remember after a while, I can't remember how long it took, but yeah, they told us that yeah, we got a job in Singapore even before we sat for final exam.
Yeah.
So
So
um it was like 30 of us who got it to
I think
Singapore. Yeah.
for statistics sake lah, I
Mm.
think most of people who went were actually non-Burmese, like, mostly
Yeah.
Chinese and Indians, correct?
Yeah.
So I think to give context to our people listening,
Mm-hmm.
but I think our year we had like 200 a year, correct? 200
200,
students
yeah,
in UM per
students.
year.
Correct.
So half of it was Bumiputra, half of it is non-Bumiputra, and then
Yeah.
almost like 80 over 87, if I remember correctly, were Chinese, and then 13 or something like Indians, correct?
Mm.
So almost, if I remember correctly, right, half of our non-Bumi population actually went over to Singapore, correct? 50% took up the offer,
Roughly, yeah, 40 plus.
roughly
40 plus per
40
se.
plus
Yeah.
percent. So 40 plus percent of non-Burmese actually went over. So I was offered also, but I don't know lah. I don't know whether it's the right choice. But anyhow, it's a good moving forward. Can't look back. I rejected it lah. I sambong lah. I said no thanks. I so mm,
Were
yeah. I
you
think
Now,
offered a job in UMMC?
I think there was this Bright Spark program when we graduated. There was this. I think if you're the dean's list or something, then they
Right.
offer you some program Bright Spark where you are sort of like bonded to UM from your houseman MO years and then until your specialist years and to be a lecturer lah. So it's gonna be like 20 years at least of your life. I estimate you'll be working in UM lah. So
Mm.
that was the offer that's offered as well. So yeah, but
So
I
you were
chose
offered
to,
that also, or you were offered Bright Spark, right?
yeah.
And but you did not, you
I
declined it
did
because
it.
oh.
I declined it also lah. So I wanted to go the KKM way, the health ministry civil servant way. I wanted to go see East Malaysia, see adventurous a bit, but yeah lor.
Now regret lah.
No lah, no regrets, no regrets.
So Daniel, you're saying that Singapore, the health system doesn't go under the government. They don't have general hospital or public hospital.
Well, we have general hospital, but I wouldn't call it a public hospital. The Singapore General Hospital, Tan Tock Seng Hospital, or Sengkang General Hospital, all these hospitals are restructured hospitals. So each hospital have their own CEO. They have a chief medical board, the chief CEO, COO, and then we have different clusters as well. So like for example, we have three different clusters in Singapore. We have the SingHealth, the National Health Group, and also the National University Health, NUHS. Um, so these three different clusters, right? They have a group CEO as well, deputy group CEO, group COO, and whatever officers. Yeah, and then individual hospital, you have their own individual hospitals, CEO, CMB, and everything. Yeah, so it is run like a company. Yeah, it's very different from Malaysia where all the public hospitals are under government, heavily subsidized. No, it's
Mm,
not like that.
mm.
Yeah. So for
So
example, the A&E visit your kecemasan. How much was it registration? 10 ringgit per visit.
No, I think it's 1 ringgit still or 5 ringgit, 1 or 5 ringgit only. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Singapore it's $150 per visit, A&E visit.
So the citizens have to pay. So it's not like a government public healthcare.
No, it's subsidized rate already.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So
Like,
okay.
sorry, going back to that interview that y'all did before your final exams, even.
Mm.
I'm just curious for Daniel, what was the thinking like? Were you very certain by then that I want to go to Singapore? That's why I went to the interview, or what was
Oh,
yeah.
no. I was definitely not certain at all. It just opens up an avenue in case if I want to go.
Mhm.
Yeah. That time was the height of and can I say it like anti-government sentiment during that period.
What year
Yeah.
Birthday and
was
all
that?
those things.
What year was your final year? 2014.
2015, 14, 15,
2015,
right?
yeah. But during that period, there was a lot of, like birthday,
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, those and Najib's corruption and those things, right?
One
Yeah. Then we
MDB.
were,
Yeah.
yeah. Then the time was like all the corruption and everything. We were like people were against the current government at the time. Um, yeah, and also partly due to the strong Singapore currency
Mm.
compared to
Mm.
Malaysia's. So all these things that definitely pushed us, tip us towards wanting to move there, and also the clear uh, career progression that they've laid out to us,
Mm.
explained to us, the residency program and how you can apply and all those things. So makes it very interesting. Whereas even though we
Mm.
are Malaysian, we study here, but we weren't really, like told what is our future like, what is our future training or program or anything. So it was all like, murky, unclear.
Mm. Opaque. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're like, oh, it looks clear, reasonable, the training program and all this. Yeah, that's why we go.
The
So,
time already announced our government about the contract doctors.
no.
No more,
Oh
not yet
no,
lah.
that time was not
No.
contract yet. Yeah.
Mm.
And also because that time there was like we know that housemen have to wait up to 1 year to start their housemanship.
Mm.
Remember,
Mm. Mm.
a lot of
Yeah.
graduates, but not enough spots. And then housemen and then those medical graduates they have to work as I don't know part-time Grab driver or whatever waiter
Yeah.
while waiting for their housemanship to start. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
peak of that issue lah. So I
Mm.
was like, oh, might as well I just come over to Singapore.
I remember, I think that was the time, correct? That was all over the news that there was too many housemen,
Mm,
supply is more than demand, then
mm.
like throw a stone also can find a doctor, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was the atmosphere. Bad politics, 1MDB, protests, country going in a bad direction, that kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
And how
I,
long did you wait for your housemanship, Ting?
Actually, I waited for, I think for us UM grads, right? We actually didn't have to wait long. It was like 4 months.
Four
There was
months.
some sort of priority, but I delayed it for personal reasons. I went to take the USMLE exam, everything, so I delayed it lah.
Uh,
But it was 4 months for us. Yep.
yeah, I see.
So, and oh yeah, so I think I like the point where you talk about, I think you're talking about the push and pull factor, right?
Yeah.
The Singaporean dollar was the pull factor, and they're very clear about their, what's the career progression and pathway. The push
Mm,
was all the politics and all the oversupply, blah blah,
mm,
right?
yeah.
So the I like the part you say the career progression very clearly laid out pathway. So what is it like actually in Singapore? Just like like a general pathway for a doctor.
Oh, so Singapore uses a residency program
Mm.
um where you can apply to whatever training program that you want to. And depending on the different specialty, the duration is different. For example, I'm an emergency department residency. It's a 5-year program. Different um, different specialty will have a different duration. So for example, like internal medicine. So the first 3 years of junior residency, um, you rotate through all the rotations, and the postings are all, um, arranged for you by the program executive. They will arrange, so they'll be like 3 months here, 2 months in uh whichever department, 1 month in emergency, and then they will arrange your rotation. So you will go through whatever that is needed, and then one of the exam to progress into the senior residency year is Master of Medicine in Singapore. Yeah. MRCP as well is the other one. Yeah. So um, once you got that, you can progress into the senior residency where you can choose which subspecialty you want. For example, if you like gastro, then yeah, you can speak to the gastro department and see if they want to offer you a senior residency spot in gastro. Yeah. So some people they so for example, like a competitive um, subspecialty like gastro or cardio, people who are very determined to do that subspecialty, they may have to wait for another year to get into that uh, senior residency training. Some who are more flexible, then they will just, okay, I can go on to my second choice subspec training. Yeah. So this is the subspec, the senior residency year, which will take another 3 or 4 years.
I see.
Yeah,
So if I get this correctly, so the housemanship or the foundation year, is
yeah,
it what, 2 years or is it 1 year?
1 year, 1 year of
Okay.
housemanship. Yeah.
Okay. So the comparison in Malaysia is that in Malaysia the health minister is compulsory for everyone, right? So it's
Mm,
2 years housemanship,
mm,
no non-negotiable, I think.
mm,
And it's six departments: pediatrics, adult internal medicine, surgical general surgery, O&G, emergency department, and the last one is elective. You can choose either psychiatry or emergency medicine or clinic kesihatan, primary care medicine. So six total. Everyone each is 4 months, so 2 years.
mm,
Then the I think the blurry part is here when you finish housemanship 2 years,
mm,
you're gonna go into a medical officer year, which is the what you say is residency lah. So for that, you all have like a 3, depending on what lah. For example, medicine is 3 years, so you know it's 3 years. You got rotations laid out for you and everything.
mm,
Here, this is where it becomes murky in Malaysia. It becomes very blurry. You become a medical officer. You apply to go to a certain state, or it's based on where it is needed, so they can send you to state. You can prioritize whichever state you want in the whole Malaysia. And then
mm,
when you go to the state health department and report in, they send you to hospitals that you will only know when you report in. So when you report to the state, for example, like Sabah is so huge, right? You go there on day one, they say, oh, you know what? They're gonna send you to somewhere in the kampong where accessible by river. You have to go lah. You have to pack your bags, and in a few days you go there. And then
mm,
you work as a hospital, and there's some hospitals have no specific departments. It's just you, the only doctor. Some of my friends did that. And then you're the only doctor, you're the pengarah of that sort of hospital or clinic. And then you have some medical assistants and nurses, and you just have to learn your way through lah. And where some people, for example, me, I don't want to be thrown around. So after I finish housemanship, I applied for Labuan because Labuan itself is a federal territory and its own state, and it has only one hospital there, and there's an airport there, so I know where I'm gonna go. So I sort of took that route and I went to Labuan. So when you're in Labuan, right, you not necessarily get into the department you want. So they might throw you into some department that you asked for or you second choice, whatever. So I was in surgery initially, which I thought was what I wanted. Then eventually I have to apply to the pengarah. Say I don't like surgery, I want to go in medicine. Then that takes another delay. So there's all a lot of opacification, a lot of murkiness there. You don't know whether you get what you want. You don't know where you're going, which state, which hospital, that kind of thing. So I agree with your
mm.
point. That is the part where it's a lot of problem there in medical MO ship.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is very different from Singapore.
Mm.
So Singapore is a 1 year housemanship, right? So
Mm.
so we only do three postings. Each
Mm,
postings 4 months. You have a medical posting, a surgical posting, and then the third one could be either pediatric ONG or a repeat of another surgical. Like for example, you did
mm,
internal medicine and general surgery. It can be the third posting can be orthopedic,
mm.
ONG or pediatric. Yeah.
Okay.
So then after that, so these are all like set in stone for you. So there's no like, oh, guessing which hospital am I going 4 months later. So they're all set in stone for you. You know where you're going, which department you're going to, and then you just go there the next day. And then
Mm,
before the end of housemanship, they will ask you to choose which hospital you want to go to, which department you want to go to. They'll give you 10 choices, you rank them. And then they'll release the result of your MO postings way before you start your posting. Then
mm,
they
mm,
will, then at least you have ample time to prepare, and there's no
mm,
disruption in the manpower or services provided.
mm,
Yeah, and this uh uh MO ship, right? The rotation is every 6 months. So every 6 months, there will be an exercise, what we call a MOPEX exercise. So, MO posting exercise, lah, essentially,
mm,
where you get to again put up your choices, you rank your choices, and then they will again announce it before the end of your current posting, so you know where
mm,
you're going, and you have ample time to do mutual swaps with other people if
mm,
you want
mm,
to. Yeah.
mm.
So so it's very clear, like end of this posting, if you're going to the result comes out, oh, you're continuing in this department, great, you continue on. The result comes out, oh, you're going to another department, yeah, then the secretary from that other hospital or other department will actually email you and tell you what to prepare, to
Mm,
get things going on the first day at work.
mm.
Yeah, so to ensure smooth transition, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, Malaysia is totally not smooth lah. It depends on where you're working in, how your hospital admin are. Yeah, it's but at least where I work in Kota Kinabalu, Queen Elizabeth is a very big hospital. It has most of the specialties. So the admin, I have to say, many of them are actually quite very efficient, and they're already very good already. I'm very happy with many of them.
Mm.
And But I know of a lot of other places they're not as great as well. So yeah, that's quite hard lah.
In
So yeah.
Singapore, not so scary. Singapore is an island. They don't have
Mm,
Malaysia ulu kampung that you may
mm.
need to end up with.
So from what I see,
Yeah.
right, the Singaporean healthcare system is of course, very structured, and also, of
Yeah.
course, people pay more for it. It's better financially supported,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I think it covers a smaller area. So, give the benefit of Malaysia, I mean, it's very hard lah. Diverse population spread everywhere. You want the accessibility for everyone, so it's definitely a harder thing to manage,
Yes, yes,
and
of course.
and I think, of course, in Singapore, the aim is like it's a fast track. It's sort of like a shorter way, a more direct way to be a consultant, and in the specialty you want to be. So you get a lot of good consultants, specialized people doing what they love. But in
Mm.
Malaysia, the whole system is obviously designed for you to be a jack of all trades, lah. For you to be like a plumber, or to plug wherever the hole is needed, they'll send you there. That's what it's designed for. That's why they have 2 years,
Exactly.
so it's just two
Exactly.
years of
Yeah.
training.
Agree.
So that's the
Yeah,
yeah,
agree.
that's
That's why I said you all go through a more vigorous training, because once you're MO, you're gonna do all the things that is needed, amputate or whatever you have to do, you have to deliver. Yeah. We don't do that as a house officer here.
so I think the whole housemanship training, everything is just training you to be a sort of a basic competent junior MO, where they can throw you anywhere in any parts of Malaysia, in the jungle or in the island or whatever, and you can sort of do certain things, not very properly, but some things can be done lah. So,
Mm.
but But whereas Singapore is looking at the end point, I want a consultant cardiologist that comes out and serves the community.
Mm.
Here we are training like bozos, like so no offense. I was part of it as well. You learn a bit of appendectomy, you learn a cesarean section, that kind of stuff. But you ask me now, right? 8 years down the line, I'm like, okay, am I competent enough to do a appendectomy now? Obviously not. It's not going to be needed on me. Someone is going to do it, obviously, in the hospital. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think housemen in Singapore, their main job is to cut patients.
But it's very diverse, you see. In KL, in Malaysia, in KL, in Klang Valley, some of the housemen, they don't do all this appendectomy. Really, no, it's only in certain parts like Sabah. So the training is very not uniform. It's very
Mm.
like, some places do this, some places do that, but they have a logbook, but logbook lah. So yeah, that's the Malaysian and Singaporean difference in the system lah.
But apart from the system, what is it like in terms of work environment? I know you didn't work in Malaysia, but I think you all spent a significant amount of time in
Mm.
UMMC during
Mm-hmm.
your clinical years and all that. What's the difference in terms of work environment and the people that you work with in Singapore?
Okay. I would say it's actually quite nice. I'm talking about as a house officer, right? When I first came here. Yeah, the people are nice. They are very accommodating because it's all computerized system when I came here, and it's a culture shock lah for me. And I was given guidance on what to click and the how to discharge a patient, the paperwork, the things to type and everything. Um, and there's a lot more hand holding and patience, I would say, in guiding a junior uh, house officer like myself during that time. I've heard of horror stories about how HO is treated in Malaysia, where uh, the specialists will scold you or throw the file at you or whatsoever. But no, this didn't happen in Singapore. So we come to work at maybe 6 a.m., do some free rounds on the patients, making sure that putting up notes so that when the consultant comes or the registrar comes at a later time, everything is can be nicely presented to them and the round move smoothly. And when the round is done, we'll all go. Most of the teams, I don't know if all do that, but most of the teams they will like go down to uh, some kopitiam in the hospital, order coffee, sit down, chit chat and discuss on the patient, make sure that consolidate the plans and say, okay, uh, the plans are consolidated. Okay, let's go and do our changes. Then the consultant and registrar, maybe they'll run their clinic and then we'll go back to the ward and do our changes. And that's how it is.
Interesting. Okay, some chiller postings, maybe we get to go down and have breakfast together with the bosses and the MO specialists together with the
Yeah,
HO lah. But not common. It's not common culture to do that because the
quite
culture here
common
in
here. Yeah.
Malaysia, the culture is the MO or the specialist see the houseman eating after rounds at a cafe. They'll say, "Wow, so free is it, y'all? Huh? Haven't finished the work, y'all go down there and eat, is it? Huh?" So kenal lah. So that's the more common culture in Malaysia lah. So yeah, that's different, But
No,
you
I
see,
no,
Yeah.
I remember the most during your housemanship. The scary part is you all like fighting for procedures. Does it happen in Singapore? I think they all fight. You got this procedure. You can give me a do and no. Like they're worried have their job ready, training, learning things, and then they have to go in politics and go and suck up to some MO or what to fight for a procedure. I cannot understand.
Oh, houseman, I don't think we have any procedures to fight for. We're not even doing any procedures.
I think what you mean, Mom, is certain pediatric. It was very intense, like in Sabah. Yeah. Because if you get extended in housemanship, it's 4 months. But if you can't finish, either you're not competent because of clinical exams or because procedures not enough, right? You can get extended. I see people extended like 4 months become 8 months until extended until 1 year and then get sent to other hospital because they extended too long already. So that was quite traumatizing for a lot of people. Thank God I didn't, because some of the postings I was the leader, so so I can help people. Like, I have the power. I can get procedures easily because everyone knows me in pediatric. So that was nice. So there's some politicking and everything, but I try to be fair. So procedures in terms of like you need to incubate babies successfully. One successful neonatal baby incubation, put a tube into the throat, and two other either post-mortem or other or the other kids. So you have to do a lot of things basically. And if you don't get it, then you don't get it then you get extended It's quite hard but Sabah is also famous for that, in the sense that it's very rigorous training in certain parts, especially ONG and pediatric. So anyhow, so that was the difficult part of the procedures and all that I don't like Daniel said, I don't think it's expected there. Yeah.
Well, I didn't go through pediatric or ONG posting in Singapore,
Mm,
so I'm not sure if they have any procedures that they need to do. Yeah, but
mm,
for
mm.
my postings, internal medicine, orthopedics, and general surgery, no, there's no surgery. There's no procedures for us to complete. Yeah.
So, I think now I work in UK. I can give a brief glimpse into how different it is in the UK. So UK is like another spectrum. So you have Malaysia on one end, where the houseman comes at maybe when I was in internal medicine, you have to get to know the patients. You come for your first rounds as a houseman, 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. sometimes if the patient has a complicated, especially in the renal ward and all that. Then your MO comes at 7 a.m. and then it goes through the rounds with you. Then the specialists come at 8 a.m. Then the specialists go around one round. Then after, if there's a consultant day round, the consultant come at 9 a.m. or 8:30. Then the consultant do another round. So there's like 4 rounds in a day for a patient sometimes. So whether it's futile, I don't know. I think it can be cleaned up a bit better. So then you have the Singaporean method where yep, your houseman come in a bit earlier, and then after that there's another rounds, everything. Then the UK method, everybody comes at 9 a.m. Okay, no one is expected to come at earlier. Not houseman come at 8:30, MO come at 9 a.m. No, everyone comes at, maybe some people, a lot of initiative, they come a bit earlier, 8:45 to prep the notes and everything. But it's not expected. Everyone expects to come together with the consultant at 9 a.m. Everyone goes through the new patients together. So sometimes it can drag the route around a bit slower. So the consultant asks about it. Depends on the consultant as well. So some consultant a bit more detailed, so they go into every detail. Some consultant maybe they leave it to the registrar. You know what? I'll give a general plan. This is what we're gonna do for this patient. Then you all figure it out The registrar and MOs can just fine tune little stuff like the salt potassium blah blah blah, that kind of stuff You all figure it out I give you a general direction. You all gonna figure it out. So that's the difference in the UK system. So yeah, nice that we have three different systems, because Singapore is still a bit more Asian, but a bit mixed with Western, kind of more, like less hierarchical in a sense. But
Coffee round in UK.
coffee rounds, we got that depends on consultant. So recently, my consultant very nice. Also after rounds, he's like, okay, all these are non-urgent, patients are not dying. Let's go for coffee on me. So no excuse, everyone is compulsory to join the coffee round. So he belanja us Costa Coffee, chill, ask us about our life, what we're gonna do with life, what is our career goals and everything. So different consultants, different style. So yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice to hear. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, but I'm slightly surprised to hear from Daniel how it's not the stereotypical Singaporean kiasu kiasi sort of culture.
Like what were you expecting? What do you have in mind?
I guess everyone will be very, very competitive or want to one up another person because it's kiasu or that's a stereotype lah, I guess.
Um, Probably not in ward round. Yeah, but maybe in terms of uh wanting to progress in career, maybe there might be some who want to be more noticeable by the the consultants. Yeah. But during rounds, I think everybody just want to quickly do whatever changes needs to be done, discharge the patients, put up referrals to the necessary departments. Yeah, and then coffee rounds is but in internal medicine, general surgery, orthopedics, yeah, we all do coffee rounds. Everybody will go down to the coffee shop and grab breakfast or drinks and then we'll discuss. Talk about yeah, can be talking about non-medical related and then after that they'll just come, okay, let's go through the plan and just consolidate everything. Yeah,
So, good business idea to open coffee shop in a hospital. Good idea.
very good.
So, so second thing I wanted to ask was that, so actually in Singapore, I thought differently as well. I thought it's like Malaysia a bit like more hierarchical, HO cannot challenge or question the MO or the specialist. Or so it's more open lah. It's more like a Western
Yeah,
kind of open, not as
yeah.
hierarchical. Okay,
There
okay.
is a lot of emphasis on what do you call that, wellness and uh even our CEO sometimes they send emails out and just call me by my name.
Mm.
Yeah, and then in at the end of the email they'll say just put the that's his name without any title whatsoever. Just to show that
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
I'm with you all. I'm part of
yeah,
you all.
yeah,
I'm not above you, that kind of
yeah.
culture. So so yeah, we don't usually like what I call that, like you are lower than me.
Mm-mm. So
Because
I don't.
I just saw, yeah, they are got leadership by example. Lee Hsien Loong was queuing up for coffee, at Starbucks or what, he go and buy his own coffee one. He doesn't ask his bodyguard to go and queue up and buy. He himself go and queue up. Here where got Malaysia? Malaysia, ayo, no hope.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw not coffee lah. I saw him queuing up to buy fried chicken lah. Uh, and and
And
I and I heard that the Singapore ministers and prime minister when they travel on the entourage, right? They wait for traffic light, not like our VIP here. Oh, I got outrider lah, make way for the car lah, block the whole traffic lah, everything. I don't know lah. I don't know lah.
eh, I don't
Uh,
know, never seen it before.
yeah. So yeah, yeah.
So how
But
how many years has it been that you're in Singapore?
I came here in 2015,
Mm.
the year I graduate, and 9 years. Yep.
Wow.
so I think yeah, you sound very happy, not happy with the system. And to be honest, I don't read a lot of media or newspaper about Singaporean housemen quitting or sorry to say suicide and all that kind of stuff. I don't hear it much on the media. I don't know how free the media is, but I don't hear it much. But as you can know, Malaysia, Penang GH is notorious. A lot of GH in Penang, Malaysia, a lot of this mental health issues and all that stuff. Hmm.
Actually, there are, just that it's not reported as widely. I mean, I think like few years ago there was this doctor, I think he's a medical officer that when he created, I don't know, he or she, I don't even know who this person is, created an Instagram page uh, and started like exposing all those like the poor hourly rate that the housemen and the medical officers are getting. So it created quite a storm lah. Some media actually took up and published it in the news, and it somehow I mean made an effect such that the Ministry of Health Holdings actually revised our pay quite significantly. You're muted.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
So quite responsive, huh? They're quite responsive to criticism and everything, huh?
yeah. I think no choice. It's face.
UK
Mm.
got so many protests also, no news.
Very hard. UK really, I honestly tell you, the NHS pays here for the consultant and everyone else is it's not great lah. It's really not great. I think even in Malaysia, the private practice is really much more earning than here, I think. But I don't know. But honestly, my pay right is not great lah. I guess it's average. But in London, right, you have to think twice whether you're gonna go and eat out and everything. You cannot. You have to eat in at most of the time. But actually, I enjoy eating in more lah. Unless there's good Asian food, but very expensive. But anyhow, pay is not great in UK. In Malaysia, the pay, if you think about the weak Malaysian ringgit, not great lah in government. As an MO, as a house officer, you earn like maybe in Sabah 5K, 5K, 6K take home.
Ringgit.
Ringgit lah. So in as MO, senior MO is about 7K, 7. Sometimes you on call can reach 8K. But if you stay in Malaysia only, you can live comfortably lah, right? Rent
That's
is not
inclusive of
expensive.
allowance.
Yes, that's inclusive of allowance and on call everything. If on call, probably 7, 8K as maybe like
And
that's working
deducting all
7 to
the
8 years. Yeah,
EPS.
deducting all the tax and everything. So 7, 8K quite comfortable lah, right? In Sabah, then you can go travel. I mean, you can go travel within the Southeast Asian area and no problem lah. But once, of course, if you have to convert it to Sing dollar and US dollar, then the money becomes nothing out of Malaysia. So you can live a comfortable life in Malaysia as a government doctor. But okay lah, it's just not tak setimpal, it's not proportional to the amount of hours you have to work. That's it lah. That sucks lah. That really sucks lah. So yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how is the pay like in UK?
The UK, okay, let's see. I am not very familiar to the exact. I give you some range lah.
Yeah.
So I think FY, right? Houseman,
What's FY?
FY 1 to 2 is foundation year, so it's a house
Oh,
officer lah.
okay.
So I think it's about at 2.5 to 2.7 K
All
per
in
month
already or base pay?
after tax. After
Oh,
tax.
that's bad.
Yeah, not great. Okay, mine, right? It's also around there, nearing 3K like that. But every month is different a bit. So because like the different tax previously, they wrongly taxed us, so they like adjust here and there. So I don't know what's exactly my consistent pay. So it's around there lah. So around 3 or 3 point something like that lah. So sometimes it goes down to 2.7, depends on whether you got banding. So it's a bit complicated here lah, because different grade and different same grade, but then different years of experience as me as IMG going in is different from someone with more experience from international. Very varied lah, very hard to say. But in general, I think the SHO probably can take back around 2.8, 2.93 maybe. I'm not. This right. I need to read up. I can't be sure. As a registrar, maybe can go up to 3.5 take home, but I'm not taking that. I'm taking way lower.
Oh.
To 4. As for example, in ED, you can reach up to 4K per month take home as a registrar. So the niece definitely earns more than me lah. She's earning around there lah. So
Okay.
for consultant, right? Consultant in NHS earns about maybe it's about 10, 11 a year is about 100 to 120K per year. But after tax, which is 40%, okay.
Wow.
You get like what? 6K maybe out of the 10K. So bad lah. 5 to 6K lah as a consultant lah. But that's in public lah. If you do private, I don't know. Private market is a bit very competitive in UK, especially as a non-local and it will be quite hard.
I see. Wow.
But of course you can stretch a pound lah.
I see. Wow, that's quite low pay. The pay is
It's
quite
low.
low.
It's low.
Yeah.
It's low.
I
But
wouldn't expect 3K as a registrar.
oh yeah, low. But if you're in trainings, some of the registrar can earn 3.5, 3.5, 3.6. But like ED registrar, 3.8, 4K, no problem. Depends on because we are non-training, so a bit different. But anyhow, where the money is not the basic salary. Where the money is if you're willing to do locum. The locum is good rates. So as a registrar locum, it can go up to 50 to 65 pounds per hour before tax. That's where the money is.
Okay.
So for example, if like with the heightened rate, right, like public holiday, no one wants to do weekend. Sometimes it's increased to 80 pounds per hour.
Wow.
So 80 pounds per hour, you see lah. So one day you go and work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 12 hours, you get 900 pounds. After tax, you also take home 500, 600 pounds. So that's
locum is
where the
your
money is.
sorry, locum is your side thing in a private clinic or something.
It's not like Malaysia private. So the public hospitals also open up locum slots.
Yeah.
So for example, they don't have enough, like people go on leave, people, like sick or whatever, they need people. Then they open up locum slots. So some people they don't have permanent jobs. Some British doctors here, they don't have permanent job. They just take up locum posts. So like, they see this week got locum 1 week in this hospital, they go and work lah. Then next week another hospital, they go and work there. The total pay beats my pay by 2 to 3 times one. because of the locum rate. So that's what they do.
Yeah, same like Singapore. There are people who just
Mm.
does locum. Mostly locums are in A&E. Yeah.
Mm.
So there are people who just locum in various A&E. And
I
our
see.
locum rate is depending on different hospital lah. Some is about
Mm.
$140 per hour, $150
Wow.
per hour. Yeah.
This is registrar.
No, no, no. Locum. MO who don't want
Oh.
to get any training and then they quit. They literally they quit the MOHH and then they go locum in the GP, locum
Mm.
A&E. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a very good rate.
Yeah, locums are known to earn a lot of money, more
That's
than
why some
consultants.
people some people think, right, I quit lah. Why for I go through all these years of training, right? They just earn money quick when they're young, save up the money, go and save the money, put somewhere, and then
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. A lot of people. That's why there are people who quit. What for go through 5 years or 6 years of training
Mm.
for slogging and still
Yeah.
earning lower pay, whereas you quit, you do GP locum outside, locum
Mm.
A&E, earn much more. But then again,
So,
locuming is if you stop working, you got no
no
income.
money lah.
Yeah.
What about consultants in Singapore? How much do they earn roughly?
I'm not too sure, but so we have a registrar, right? I'm currently a registrar. Then after I finish my training, I'll become an associate consultant first. Yeah, associate consultant. Then 2 years later, you become consultant and then senior consultant. So as a registrar, again, it depends on your postgrad year. I mean, the longer you are working
Mm.
in the MOHH, of course, your pay, gets increased year by year. You can get up to base pay 8 9K without
After
allowance.
tax.
No, no, no.
Oh.
Before the CPF, before EPF.
Uh,
If you add in on call and everything, you probably get 11 12K take home.
solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's the registrar pay. Yeah, but
Wow.
average out about 11K lah. Some months you get lower, some months you get more. Yeah.
Yeah. With such a strong
So
hmm.
yeah, as a associate consultant, your base pay is even higher. So easily 15 16, I guess, take homes.
Amazing. Amazing. Why didn't I go Singapore? Yeah. Okay. So, what is the tax like again?
I think it's 20% by
Okay
employee
lah.
and 17% employer.
Wow, amazing. Okay. Wow. Shall we move on from the medical aspect? I think this is a very good comparison that we really learn about the Singaporean system and comparison Malaysian system. I think yeah, man, really appreciate that. That's a good context to it. So so let's move on to the next agenda on the discussion. So actually living in Singapore, right? In Malaysia, for example, for me in UK, I don't have my, all powerful Myvi, to drive around, So I have to take the bus every day, wait for the bus, stand on the bus, that kind of stuff. Very big different lifestyle for me. For example, for you also, I guess in Singapore, what's your life outside of work like? How different it is from Malaysia? Can just anything free and easy.
Yeah, so same like you, I don't have a car in Singapore. I'm still holding on to Malaysia license. So main mode of transport is still the public MRT and public bus. Occasionally Grab, yeah, when I'm feeling lazy or when I'm
Mm.
feeling rich. Yeah, but no, most of the time it's still train and bus.
So I want to ask your bus system is I've heard tons of great things about Singaporean public system, no doubt.
Mm.
London also quite famous in the world. I don't know for good or bad reasons, but probably good because the bus, right, sometimes I really am sometimes most of the time it's good, but sometimes, right, they will have this because they want to make it uniform, Some buses drive a bit faster, some a bit slower. So for no reason, right, sometimes they just stop somewhere and then just sit. The bus driver is asked to wait. So if you're going to work late, you might be later, So you have to wait there 15 minutes, don't know do what, then after the bus drive again. But the worst part of this London buses, sometimes they will just the bus driver has been asked to terminate the services and change the route. So the bus driver stop in the middle. Happened to me a few times before at night in winter when they're gloomy, it's raining at 8 9 p.m. They just drop you everyone out, ask all the passengers to get out of the bus, get out of the bus stop, wait for the next bus to come, then they just drive off. Oh, that is quite quite PL lah, quite testing my patience lah. So that's the London system lah.
Oh,
But it
that's
sounds like
interesting.
Nothing like that in Singapore, I'm sure.
I feel like
No,
happens in Singapore, everyone's gonna take a video and then goes on social media and then mother
Uh,
or whatever reports it and then
no way.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good. That's
I've
good.
never encountered that.
Okay, that's public transport. Seems very good. Living cost wise, I think the gai fan, the chicken rice, wanton mee, still can get 3 sing, is it? 3 sing, 4 sing, 250 like that.
I don't think
Okay,
it's
lah.
not as cheap really.
Okay,
Probably $4, $5.
okay.
$5.
Yeah, go ahead, Rooney. Yeah.
what's your typical what does your typical weekend look like if you're not working?
Currently,
Yeah.
spend time with
And if you're not coerced by your longtime friend to do a podcast on a Saturday afternoon.
yeah, probably morning, wake up, I bring my kid down to, play some basketball, run around, sweat out. Then after that, we went to a mall, to the library, return some books, borrowed new books, and then have lunch, and then we came back lah. That's the typical weekend we usually have when I'm off work.
Just I think one thing I have to give Singapore credit is they seem to have this they seem to be very good at it. Although it's a small space, but they always make very good use of their space. So because my boyfriend is based in Singapore, so I think I was there when it was the art week.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a lot of things going on at the NGS, the National Gallery. There was a lot of art exhibition. It's things like Arts Ed used to do in Georgetown. There are different installation around the city. They revive certain area, heritage area, and then do arts and culture stuff. Then people come and participate. They actually like make use of the space and always activities for people to community come together. And that's something I always admire about Singapore.
Yeah, they do have few like light festivals, art festivals, those kind of things. Just to bring people into the uh to together, I guess, because we don't usually go to the city center. Yeah, we seldom go there. So like, because I'm currently living in Kovan, which is like a northeast part of Singapore. So um very seldom that we will actually make a trip down to city center because I mean restaurants, food are all more expensive and it's quite far away. Like, take a train ride, you probably spend 40 minutes on a train. Yeah. So we usually just spend around do things around our neighborhood or around the northeast region. Yeah.
And also, I think Daniel has a very special hobby as well. I saw his Instagram. He's working on it now again after he passed his exam. Yeah, congratulations to Dan. His UK-based exam, FRCM, right?
No. It's my residency exit exam.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I think you started back on your hobby of he likes to make pond. Yeah, he like to fish. He like decorate stuff, plants and all that, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very
There's a
nice.
fish pond now in my balcony.
I saw he's working on with henna.
Yeah, I saw.
Jasmine.
Also, there's a fountain and the water that comes
Very
splashing out. And
nice.
this whole like an
Very nice.
ecosystem of plants.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask some controversial questions on Singapore, lah. So,
Yeah.
so, honest opinion, lah. You've had bak kut teh in Singapore, right? Come on, what is better, lah? Singaporean bak kut teh, clam bak kut teh, is it even the same? Can you even compare apples and oranges, that kind of thing, lah? The food in Singapore, just give me your honest opinion on it. Huh?
You must list out some food then and I can tell you which one is better.
Okay, kai fan, chicken rice, really better.
Chicken rice, I would say Singapore's Hainan Fan.
Oh, good, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Char kway teow?
Penang.
Yeah, okay. Bak kut teh is different, right? I know it's peppery, right? It's like our pig
Very
intestine.
very different. I
So cannot
prefer
compare.
the herbal one in Klang in Malaysia.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Um,
Okay.
I mean, Penang we have two tutang, right? Pork
Yes.
stomach, yeah.
Yes.
And it's very peppery, right?
Yeah.
So literally, you just substitute that pork stomach with pork rib, and that's how it is.
Okay. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
So,
Yeah.
so what
Okay.
in Singapore that we cannot find here that you like?
God, that's the Fujian mian here is different. It's fried.
Oh, you mean is
Penang is soup, right? The
ah
Hokkien mee is soup one, right? Yeah.
mm.
Over here is wok fried.
Oh, you mean like no, you mean it's still prawn mee wok fried or is it tai lok min? The one I hate,
No,
the
no,
KL
no.
tai
Not
lok
It's
min.
that
not black. It's prawn mee,
white color.
like
Oh,
yeah, wok
okay.
fried.
For
Oh,
some
It's
okay,
reason, I
okay.
feel like it's similar to like Hokkien cha, but it's not. Hokkien cha is black, but this is like white color. I assume. But admittedly,
Got
it's
prawn
good
lah.
in got prawn, and then you
Mm.
sambal, you squeeze some lime on it. It's
Okay,
good.
okay, okay.
Is it like our the sangyat mee, Is it lam mee? The dry no
No,
No, no,
no
no.
no,
Okay, okay. Okay, one more. Got nasi kandar there.
no nasi kandar. I've never seen nasi
Yeah.
kandar here.
Shit. Okay, okay, okay.
But if you want to compare
Okay.
roti prata or the
Mm,
roti canai lah. I
mm.
like the mamak in Malaysia.
Okay, okay. So food wise, we get a rough idea. Yeah, rough idea. Not bad, not bad. So okay,
So
one
is it
more.
is it true that Singapore life is faster, very much faster than Malaysia?
Very, very much faster. Even the escalator is faster.
Fast until Malaysian go there have to grab onto the rail, is it?
Yeah, that's how I feel when I first came here. Like you can feel the gush of wind when you go up the escalator.
Top Gun like that lah. Okay.
Then when I cross the causeway and go to JB, wow, so slow. You feel hot, on the
Wow.
escalator.
Okay, interesting, interesting. But
E-
hmm,
Even the causeway, the Singapore flight very fast, right? You come over Johor was stuck already, is it?
Yes,
hmm.
always stuck at Johor.
People walk slower, right? Malaysians walk damn slow lah, huh? Correct?
Yes,
Singapore walks very fast. I even in
faster.
Malaysia, I find it very because they don't have they're not very aware of their surrounding, especially in malls and in areas. In UK, it's very pantang one. You cannot lah. You better skip to the right. Everyone stays to the right. Then everyone the fast lane people walk fast lah. Left people rushing.
Yeah, yeah.
In Malaysia, you see certain groups of people lah. Some people just walk there, waddle their ass left, right, then block the whole way lah. Then talking, no sense of, let people pass that kind of thing. So that's what I noticed in London. People don't do that as much unless you're a tourist.
Mm.
So in Malaysia, people do that lah.
Singapore is the other
Yeah.
side. We will all stand on the left and then right is the express lane.
Mm, mm. I see, I see. And also I think a lot of people like to laugh at Singaporeans. They always say that no offense to Justin and family and all, and Hannah, you're Malaysians considered still. So they say that Singapore kesian, like weekends people everyone go airport, go Changi airport, look at Jewel, look at the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
but
we don't have much natural resources here, you know.
oh,
Yeah, so most of the things are man-made.
yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
get also in Singapore. But I mean, granted, Changi Airport is very nice lah. It's like Pavilion in Malaysia, that kind of level lah. Like a nice shopping mall. So I understand why people go there lah.
Mm, mm, yeah. I mean, even if we're not traveling, we just go there just to get some aircon, have some food there, look at the plants
Mm,
in Jewel.
yeah,
Plus, where else can you get, so many plants in such a nicely curated, nicely arranged. It's either botanical garden
yeah.
or gardens by the bay. Then it's
Mm.
Jewel.
It
Not a lot of nature. There is. I'm not saying there isn't any, but
yeah,
just
yeah.
less compared to Malaysia lah.
But
If not,
I think it's very, very smart of them though. I think the facilities in Jewel, you can check in your luggage with your flights at 9 p.m. You can check in by 8 a.m. from the Jewel Mall, and then it goes in, and then for the rest of the 12 hours, there's plenty of things for you to spend money then, and it's a lot of it always makes a lot of economic sense. A lot of
Yeah, anything that earns money.
and
And
It's
then
a
they do the drivers then also reckless like Malaysia.
Drivers, I think, uh, uh, well, can't really comment much. I mean, when you mentioned driver, the first thing that came to mind was the fatal accident that happened recently.
huh?
Uh,
What happened?
no, there's a fatal accident that
Oh, okay,
happened
okay.
recently. Yeah,
Oh.
it was a mass
No lah.
casualty. Mm.
Singaporeans are very civic conscious, obedient drivers. Okay, it's hard to get license. I imagine people don't simply drive lah. Those people who drive also, you think what? I don't think Singapore got Singapore version of mud rempit lah. You know, all the mud rempit if they
Oh no
mud
lah,
rempit
no
also
mud rempit lah, no mud
no mud
rempit,
rempit lah.
no mud
So
rempit. Yeah.
even if got mud rempit in Singapore, they follow the speed limit. 50 miles per hour means 50 miles maximum. They fly Superman 50 miles only.
No such thing in Singapore.
Don't have lah.
Yeah.
Because recently, and I saw the YouTube, a lot of the YouTubers on social media, the expatriates, Americans, UK, Europeans, everyone is moving to Singapore. It seems like in the media because
Mm-hmm.
Singapore has been rising up through the ranks, at least in the social media arena, that's the real developed first world nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are slowly moving away from America, looking at what America is happening. They're really acting like some third world country lah, honestly lah, with guns lah. Put the mixture in, and that's a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. And yeah, so I think Singapore has been getting a lot of good names, a lot of expatriates moving there. That's what I was seeing in the
because
YouTube.
it used to be Hong Kong or even Dubai, Middle East, and all that, but a lot of people are flocking to the expats of
Yeah.
Singapore, and most international companies would have their regional office, APAC office in Singapore.
Yeah, but I think it's also causing some unhappiness among Singaporeans because like the government is like bringing in so many all these foreign talents and making things more expensive, unaffordable for the real locals.
I,
So I guess
I
it's
think
part of progression, I guess, as a country becomes more and more uh towards moving towards first world, you get foreigners coming in to work in your country. Yeah, I guess that's bound to happen, I guess.
The Chinese, is there still a very strong anti-Chinese sentiment there? Chinese from
anti-Chinese.
China.
I don't think there is an anti-China sentiment. Yeah, because we also know that China is also progressing quite fast, like all the uh mobile payment and all those things, right? Um, yeah, so I don't see any. Yeah.
I think because I was listening to I got do homework, I got actually before interviewing Danny, and I actually went to watch Lee Hsien Loong's entire CNA interview before he retired.
Mm.
Interesting. I think he was talking about this specific issue as well. I think he mentioned that there was 1 million Malaysians in like total population of 5. I can't remember how many Singaporeans are there. So huge Malaysian diaspora in Singapore. And there are some rising sentiments, like you said, about bringing too many people in, especially, and diluting and everything the population. So, but he said that there are plans in place to, we only want certain semi-skilled labor. I mean, skilled or semi-skilled. Well, of course, you still need skilled labor. I mean, you still need like laborers, construction workers, and all that. So they've got plans, and the way Lee Hsien Loong speaks, and he's just of substance, like heritage
Mm.
from his father and everything. You can just, well, this is what I imagine a leader to speak like. Anwar is no different, of course. Anwar is no different, but there's another whole political issue that we might not have time to talk about in this session, I guess. But at least the ministers in Singapore, they're all really tip top, like wow, like tip top lah. So Danny, you still follow Malaysian politics, or you just tune out, don't care already lah.
Don't care already.
Depressing, you listen to Malaysian news, you get depressed.
Yeah, it's quite depressing.
But last
Why
time,
make myself depressed?
yeah, that's true. But last time we all protesting, supporting, certain government. Then now the government in place already. Yeah, Malaysian can never be satisfied lah. I also unhappy lah.
But actually, the Aaron parents, they came, they told us, if Malaysia situation gets better, a lot of Malaysians, especially from Canada, like you say, want to come back one.
I guess it's all uh, down to the leadership and their willingness to do things that are not unpopular, I guess, among the majority.
So I'll ask you in Singapore, right? Is it really that merit based? Do you feel some racism? I mean, not against you, but is there any racism, that kind of preferential treatment against the minorities? Not that you know of.
Not that I know of.
Mm.
Not that I know of. Yeah.
So basically, if you can work, you get promoted. If you can do things well, you go up lah. That's it lah.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
that if I add
what you
in,
said is true, sorry, when they're trying to reduce the labor, it's now last time it's quite easy, especially if you're Malaysian Chinese. It's easy for you to go to Singapore and get a work, and especially if you work in the professional sector. But now they're constantly increasing their your salary to get an employment pass. Like Ryan's on an employment pass, there's a employment pass, there's a S pass, but I keep rising the minimum monthly salary you have to be at, the range, the bracket you have to be at in order to get an employment pass in
correct.
Singapore. So it's getting increasingly difficult.
Yeah, correct. So I think Daniel, I think that Shireen and I was talking about actually, yeah, it's not it's like what you said in Singapore, that is increasingly difficult. Like Shireen's boyfriend was saying, it's a bit difficult. They're increasing the limit that's needed to minimum salary needed for you to get an employment pass, that kind of thing.
Yes.
It's happening in UK also. Happening in
Oh,
UK.
okay.
So even my salary is just a bit above, okay lah, quite above lah, above the minimum salary that UK is also restricting. Yeah, everywhere in this first world country where everyone goes to, right, there's always going to be this rise of sort of right, protectionist people that are going to say, these people are coming to snatch our jobs, raising our living costs and everything. So anti-immigrant sentiment basically lah, like the US is an extreme example. So yeah, lor, that's the reality of it, lor. But yeah, let's just go back to what I think we've been going on for quite some time. Interesting talks. I think we're gonna end go to our next segment before we wrap up everything. I think the next big segment is actually I want to talk to you about like what my mom was asking. Raising a kid, you say it's expensive, like how is it like? Because I understand from certain friends, at least your wife is Singaporean, you're Malaysian, your kid is Singaporean, right? So, but for let's say if two Malaysians and their kid with is a Malaysian, let's go from your perspective first. What do you think?
So I think number one, the diaper and the milk and all these things are obviously more expensive here. So that's why if we do go back to Malaysia, we sometimes buy some back. Yeah, because it's cheaper in Malaysia. And education is the next thing. Yeah. So even after subsidy, I'm paying like 700 per month for her nursery.
So
For this is for subsidized like government affiliated nursery. So you go to like private run nursery, um uh, childcare centers, probably gonna cost 2K, 3K a month.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, at what age do generally Singaporean children parents send their children to sort of school or some nursery? What age as early?
You can start at 18 months, but of
Oh
course,
wow.
because there are, parents who are working, some can opt to actually send their kid for infant care, starts at 6 months old. And infant care is much more expensive because
I see.
it's a lower rate ratio, teacher to
So
student ratio.
so let's say if you are non-Singaporean, so you're not entitled for the subsidized one lah, right?
Correct.
So 2-3K lah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big difference, yeah.
Yeah.
So our time, right? I mean, our time we go to nursery 5, 6 years old lah. So that's why a bit more mentally slow lah.
Yeah.
But
Is it true?
mm, is it true that because I'm hearing a lot of people say for to raise a kid in Singapore, you need to make sure that they get in a good school. I don't know whether it starts from kindergarten or primary school. You make sure you need to get them in the right school, otherwise their entire life trajectory is set in a certain way, and then people buy houses based on which school district that they go to and all
Oh,
that.
yes, yes, yes. That's very true. Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you at a stage where you have to worry about that already?
In fact, I am actually thinking about it. Yeah, about which school should I put my daughter in, and if once you have decided, then you have to look at houses around the school.
Wow.
Yeah, if not, because usually the so how it works is the primary school and enrollment, right? It's number there's a few criteria lah. One is like the distance within 1 km you got higher chance compared to if you're further than 1 km from school. So that's why people will
Wow.
want to rush to within 1 km of that whatever school that they want to send to. Then
Wow.
there is also if you're an alumni of that school, then you have higher chance, or you work in some community uh, service around the school area, or you're part of that school parent association or parent teachers whatever school committee, like being a traffic warden for 2 years, then there's a higher chance of your kid getting enrolled.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, so there's few criteria.
Let's say you're a doctor. Got extra.
No,
Oh, you know. Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. Okay, okay. Wow, like that,
yeah.
competitive,
Oh,
That means
the thing is called parent volunteer. Sorry, yeah,
Oh,
I think it's called parent volunteer. So you volunteer as whatever lah, traffic warden, controlling traffic outside the school gate. You volunteer for I think 2 years, and then
so
okay, then we will take your kid in.
in next few years, I will see you outside a school volunteering to control traffic lah when you're free.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
so
I
you're
haven't
going to
decided which school.
move nearer to the school, move your
Yeah,
whole family there.
yeah,
Wow.
Wow, that's how much education is valued in Singapore and all that, obviously.
yeah. And yeah, lah. So
Wow.
this is what Shereen was saying, the kiasu kiasi attitude. Yeah,
Interesting.
So those properties near those schools are very expensive.
yeah, lor.
Go on,
Oh.
huh? Malaysia, what? Property near mall expensive, is it? Near sea and all, This one is
No,
near
no,
school.
no. Malaysia, you can go and get your auntie's address, borrow
Ah.
the Naga bill can do already. Can cheat already.
And now Malaysia also nobody wants to go national school lah. Sad to say lah. Yeah? Middle income. Last time only the rich send to private school, right? From what I read, right nowadays middle income also everyone wants to send to private school already. No one has faith in the national school, right?
Really, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been reading quite a lot actually. Even middle income, they are prioritizing so much education that they're sending to private schools or international school. Not even going to all this like Zhongling, whatever, this
No.
long time ago.
Now Zhongling private waiting list is hard is more than what I think the government school. Now Zhongling, Zhongling private is very famous now, and everybody wants to send their child to Zhongling primary instead of Zhongling Kebangsaan.
Well, I guess in Malaysia nowadays, right, it's like there are people, okay, for example, you, right, you left for Singapore and I sort of left for UK and everything. But you see on social media, when this kind of brain drain issue comes up, you see all these comments, don't know, cyber troopers or what. Everyone will say, go lah, go, we don't need you. If you're not appreciated of Malaysia, just leave. We don't need you. That's the kind of mentality that people have, when there's an issue with brain drain. Instead of saying, okay, what's going on here? Let's sit down. let's just see what we can do about it. But no, everyone just say go lah, go lah, everyone go lah. You go, I go. No this one ini bukan sikap madani ya, ini. I love Malaysia. I love Malaysia. I'm gonna say out in this podcast. I love Malaysia still.
But Daniel, you got PR,
Oh.
PR already. You're
Yes,
PR of
yes,
Singapore already
yes,
lah. Oh,
yes.
okay.
Mm.
So PR status, what benefits do they enjoy? If it compared to a citizen, what are they don't enjoy compared to a citizen?
Wow, I think number one is the housing, right? I mean, lower tax compared to foreigner, but still higher compared to citizen. Yeah. Then the other thing is, I think education also is another one. Will affect PR, foreigner versus citizen.
Mm.
The difference here. Yeah. But other than that, I have to pay CPF just like citizen.
So, how long do you take to become a PR and citizen? That kind of thing. What's the usual?
I'm not sure because I applied late, but I
Mm.
think got approved within 6 months. Quite
Mm.
fast.
Because
Citizen, I don't know. I haven't tried
Mm.
applying.
Because in UK, what I understand is that if I work here for 5 years, I get a PR. Then after 1 year, I can apply for citizenship if I want
Mm.
to lah. That's the sort of usual trajectory here.
So 5 year only you can apply for PR.
Yeah, if
Oh,
I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
I think for Malaysian, quite easy to get PR.
Mm.
And I mean, of course, you're working as a doctor, they will also want to keep you lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Daniel, your children are Singaporean by virtue of the fact that your wife is Singaporean, or they don't follow nationality of the father, right?
No. So,
Either parent Singaporean, okay already.
yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I didn't even register my marriage or my in the embassy. So technically in Malaysia, I'm still not married.
Oh, smart, huh? Smart, huh?
No,
Oh, sorry, joking.
no lah. Just that my all this is not in Malaysia's database lah. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, interesting. And yeah, so I think from what I gather from you, I think this childcare part, so Pampers expensive. So Singaporeans don't only come over to Johor Bahru to take petrol, but also buy Pampers lah. Yeah,
I don't know
I
about that,
rather
but I do.
But dollar to dollar is still expensive, eh?
Dollar to dollar. Uh, can't remember, but I think it is more expensive. Yes.
Yeah, I see. Because
Your hawker food is cheaper already. Dollar to dollar, you still can get for something. Here, I think that the cheapest is 6 ringgit already. Don't think you can get a 4 ringgit Hokkien mee or what? Or
Yeah.
chicken rice.
Correct.
Minimum
Dollar to
6 ringgit.
Correct. So I think dollar to dollar wise, Singapore cheaper. So it's
Right.
your cost of living for Malaysian who are earning ringgit spending in Malaysia, I think a bit tough also, right?
yeah, but
I
For
was
the
food lah,
worst
for
is
food. Yeah.
with my boyfriend and his friends,
Mhm.
and we were in India, and I realized that every time we go and buy stuff or spend stuff, the math that goes through my head and the math that all the Singaporean does is very, very different.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So I think it's that, for example, like Daniel, if you want to go family trip, no problem. Like you want to go Japan, you want to go US also, that it's not painful lah, right? You want to go Southeast Asia, even easier.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
The power of the currency. No, I think it's also you experience it lah with your GBP.
Yeah, but because I think the worst in UK is the living cost is super high, because I'm in London, it's super high, that my savings is just like really, really like little. Like I really think never felt this, I mean, financially, like, okay, a bit, insecure as much as in Malaysia. You can save like quite a big chunk of your savings, 50% or whatever of your earning you can save. But here it's a bit difficult. Yeah, for example, let's say I earn, let's say like easy like 2.7 or 3K like per month, let's say, it's actually quite good already. My rent here is already subsidized. It's already quite cheaper because we know the owner, family friend of Denise's parents. It's 6,600, for 2-bedded apartment, £1,006 per month. Yeah.
6,006 per
No,
month.
1,006, 1,006,
Oh,
1,006.
1,006.
So
whole house or a room?
a whole house lah, two bedroom.
Cheap,
It's cheap, right?
cheap.
But
1,000
because
for a house in London.
wait then after
Oh,
that council tax 1 month 1 house 150 pound okay, there's £150 on top
okay,
of
so 1,750.
1,800 like that lah.
Okay.
Electric bill I
Uh-huh.
freeze my ass off also. I don't want to turn on heater wear double blanket
Uh-huh.
uh use washing machine only and some microwave all 1 month me and Denise 2 person at least 100 to 120 pound per month.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
Similar. Yeah.
So almost 1,900 already.
Mm-hmm.
So almost 1,900 to 2,000 lah. And this is considered cheap for this area because we know the family friend. If not, it's about 1,800, 2,000 man. So one house 2 person stay already 2,000 pounds.
Mm,
So I only earn like what, let's say 2.7 or
mm,
3
mm,
depending. So how much lah? You already spend like 900 or 1,000 pound on rent alone.
mm,
Then you eat, but the thing is that the strong pound, right? You cook home, okay, very very cheap lah. You can eat and pork, a nice rice and vegetable and pork everything. You can one pound and below, but you go and eat 1 pound, one plate of rice or whatever is 10 pounds, that kind of thing. So you cannot eat out often, no? That's the thing, no? That's the
mm,
difference.
mm.
It's not a house, it's an apartment, right?
It's an apartment. Sorry, it's an apartment, not a house. It's an apartment.
Yeah, but still a whole unit.
So yeah, that's the difference of UK, Singapore, and Malaysia.
But Singapore rental is crazy. I'm not sure if
Very crazy.
Mm.
Almost 3K per
Oh
month.
wow, for an entire apartment, 2 bedroom or
Yeah, condo is
yeah.
even more expensive. Last time when I first got married, it was 2.5K for 1 bedroom condo.
Wow, jialat.
I thought
I
we were
see, I
paying
see.
1.6 now.
Oh
But then
yeah, true.
again, when you compare to the salary, it's a bit tough.
Tough.
Almost like
Yeah,
half the salary, almost two-thirds salary.
exactly. And then I go to work, some more it's far from my workplace. This is outer London already. I take bus 1 hour plus every day one way. Two ways 2 hours. I spend 1 month on the bus entire year. So yeah.
How much is your
So
transportation?
what, Singapore or London?
London lah.
Okay, depend lah. So London, you take how many times a bus? As long as within 1 hour, it's 175. If you more than 1 hour, you take, then it's double lah. But the tube is expensive lah, £3, £5, depending where you go lah. So yep. So anyway, enough about London. I think we're gonna wrap it up eventually for our podcast. I think you spent a lot of time. Daniel spent a lot of time. I was really appreciate. And also, I think I just want to ask one last thing. Because I also heard about the childcare, right? I heard that children as young as 1, 2 years old already go for tuition for maths and all that. True? Is it got such thing?
I won't deny there are people who send their kids for all these enrichment classes, maths class or mother tongue classes, Mandarin.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't
So yeah, I mean, wow. But is it very common, or is it like maybe more of a luxury kind of additional for most people?
common. It's not luxury. Even
Wow.
middle income also they'll still send,
Mm.
Yeah. So there are people who, feel that these are important
Right.
and
Because it's
just send their kids to all these enrichment classes. I mean may not be 1, 2 years old, maybe 3, 4 years old, 2, 3, 4 years old kind. Yeah. There are enrichment classes. Very prevalent.
Okay. I see. Because I mean, from what I was listening to Lizen Trend with Kyrie and Kyrie's podcast and everything, they were talking about. I was reading about a lot about it also, about universities. Nowadays, a lot of youngsters in Malaysia don't want to go to university because they don't feel like that. Actually, all over the world, so don't want to go to university, especially. They feel like, what's the point of getting a degree? I can earn better if I go do Grab, gig economy, go do, Grab food and all that. So a lot of people, especially in Malaysia, don't want to do that anymore. But in Singapore, 3 years old, 4 years old, going to enrichment classes. Here we are like sort of like, oh, no need lah, no need degree lah. We just get by, do YouTuber, and all that lah. So a bit different, divergent. You see Malaysia and Singapore lah. Yeah. So
But then again,
I
Grab, how long can you do Grab? How old can you do Grab?
yeah, I think different mentality lah. So I think it's good. I'm happy that Danny doing very well in Singapore. Nice family, beautiful wife and daughter, traveling to Japan, everywhere. It's
Mm.
good. Happy to see you doing well there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Send
Yeah.
send our regards to your wife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, will
just
do,
Yeah.
will do. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
so shall we wrap it up, guys?
Yeah.
Hi,
Mm.
hello.
Hi. Hey, oh yeah,
Eh,
Danny, are you going for Adam's wedding?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
KL or
Done.
Penang ah? KL.
Penang,
Penang ah?
Penang.
Penang.
Penang. Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, guys, do you want to add in any wrap up everything? Someone can wrap it up.
Ask any other question? Mm.
Or is there anything, Danny, you want to share with us? Anything more that we?
Yeah, I got one
Yeah.
important question because we did that inferiority complex. So when you went over to Singapore, do you have that kind of feeling, inferiority complex?
For me, I don't have lah. I'm not sure
Oh,
about
that's
others
good.
Danny has always been a top boy lah, straight A's, top boy student lah. Who who you're talking to, mom? This one is a top lah.
No, I'm Malaysian
Yeah.
ma. Go to the Singaporean ma.
Hey, sorry lah. Honestly, no offense to
Malaysians,
Singaporeans.
Malaysians here when we come here, right, we are known to be hardworking. That's our reputation here. So the consultants they ask, they know that we are Malaysian, they know that we are willing to 吃苦 ah.
Singaporeans themselves, Singaporeans also can 吃苦, no?
Well, I can say it, but there's a reason why the consultants say
Well, of course, if you compare it here, a similar thing in UK as well. They have the same sentiment like what you said just now. So of
yeah.
course, the people here, I mean, 5 o'clock is 5 o'clock. We go back. We don't stay. In Malaysia, you have to stay back and do your work and everything. But here is different. We respect that. This is my private time. This is what I'm willing to give for work. So yeah, I understand what you mean, lah. So, but we're
Mm.
all Malaysians, right? Because it's in our genetic. We work. We have to work hard. We have to finish our work. We have to do our best to make sure everything we don't screw up. We have to do our best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I
Singaporeans
mean
also.
not to generalize all
Yeah.
Singaporeans. There are Singaporeans who are even more hardworking than
Oh,
us. Yeah, there are.
but
Um,
I
yeah,
totally agree because that is what my image of Singaporeans are. That if we can take crap, right? Singaporeans can also take even more crap if they're, because after all they work really hard. They since young, going to enrichment classes at 2 3 years old. So no doubt about that. Agree with you. Agree with you. They are definitely not the chillax. I mean, sit back, laze around, that kind of people lah.
there's a spectrum.
Spectrum.
So there are people who are willing to work hard. But there are also people who feel that why work so hard when I can do something else and earn better money. Hence they quit
Yeah.
the working with the government and went out to
Yeah.
do GP
Yeah.
and locum.
Which is what we were talking about in our previous podcast, Mom and Reen, about the recent generation, the Gen Z and the younger generation. They're all thinking differently already. Like the Chinese Tang Ping movement, right? What for I work so hard, and I don't even know whether I'll be alive at 50. So yeah, good point. Good point. Sure.
Thank you so much for sparing your Saturday afternoon
Yes.
with us.
Very
Almost
much,
2.
Daniel.
I had a good time catching up with all of you.
Thank you very
Remember,
much, Danny.
remember to send our regards to your wife. Didn't get to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
okay.
Danny.
Yeah, Denise, send my regards to her. So she's working,
Yeah,
is it?
she is sleeping happily at it's 9 a.m. The sun is out, but we're gonna go out later. It's not easy to get such a sunny recently in London, so we're gonna go out later to some park. I have my drone. I'm gonna go fly my drone, maybe, kind of stuff.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Go do more reels.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Daniel.
Okay,
Take
thank
care.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.